This week on Arizona Illustrated, the Cannabis Coach.
When the old man says, hey, how about a little more medicine? The answer's yes.
The Binational Encuentro.
There's multiple strands or multiple problems intersecting at this place.
And celebrating resilience and sobriety.
Protect us wherever we walk upon this Mother Earth.
Welcome to Arizona Illustrated. I'm Tom McNamara. It's had many names: Mary Jane, reefer, pot, weed, smoke, chronic. It's been demonized and celebrated, and it's been legalized in a growing number of states. But beyond recreational use, there's a growing belief that medical marijuana is a viable and reliable alternative to pharmaceutical opiates for the relief of pain and anxiety.
You have to understand this medicine in order to fully make use of it. There are two critical principles. Number one is strain selection. You have to have the right strains. And number two is the dosage. So if you don't get these two right, you're either too stoned or you're not cutting the pain or whatever the symptoms are. So there's two puffs, and I'm already feeling the relaxation. So within seconds. We threw a great medicine out to the state of Arizona, but no one's helping people understand how to use it. And I caught a vision of somebody that could help people that really wanted to use this medicinally, not recreationally. Here?
No,
Here.
just
Right here.
yeah. I say preventative maintenance is better than.
That's exactly it.
We've been married 62 happy years.
Not happy, they're
The
wonderful.
secret is a sense of humor.
Yeah, we tease a lot, we kid a lot.
We kid a lot.
But I'm never gonna get better. It's gonna get worse and worse and worse.
Okay, I can live with that.
Yeah.
Especially because you can live with it.
Yeah, I can live with it.
So what it's about is making life manageable.
Just gonna push this little button down quickly, and I'm gonna wait for it to turn green.
Do you see she pulled in some more air after she
Yeah.
put it away? We got to get it way down here in your deep lung, okay?
So it's just a little bit.
Now in.
Now inhale.
I'd watch these old people and they had no idea what they were doing. Pull away.
Pull away. Don't empty it.
And just hold it. Hold. Exhale as you want.
How's that?
That's why we call ourselves a coach. We can help people re-engage because of what we've been through.
I don't feel my neck clicking.
Good. There we go, right there.
So it did make a difference, dear?
Yeah. I had all this
Her nurse suggested Bill Meeks and Dorothy Meeks have to start somewhere to get some ideas of what to try and how to try it. Because we wouldn't have any idea. We're not familiar with cannabis. It's not a cure-all.
No, but it's,
It feels you better.
you feel a little more relaxed.
The medicine works for you. We just have to be consistent about it. So when the old man says, hey, how about a little more medicine? The answer's yes. Okay? Born in Arizona, Safford, moved to Tucson when I was just a little guy. CDO High School, we moved up where I met Dorothy, going to school. I made All-City as a high school football player. Had a pro tryout of the Canadian Football League. Decided by about age 21, I was about as broken as you can imagine. I mean, physically, I was a wreck. I started with the Sheriff's Department in 1978, worked the streets, was with the undercover narcotics team, worked my way from the streets all the way up to assistant chief. And in 1984, I was in a really bad car wreck on duty. Back was hurt really bad, but nobody diagnosed it for 20 years. So I went into my doctor, I said, "Doc, I can't do this anymore." He said, "You're retired." And that was the first time I got a prescription. This is what I took every day of my life just for pain. We came up with a nickname for the guy that took that pile. We called him Morphine Bill. And Morphine Bill was a jerk. I'd be in bed 12 to 14 hours a day and then sit on the couch for the rest of the day eating pills. My boys came down from Washington and they said, "Dad, this has got to stop." I said, "What do I do?" They held up a newspaper and it said, "Medical marijuana. We dare you to research it." And I laughed at them. Do you really picture your dad, an ex-cop, a Mormon boy? I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do anything. You really picture me smoking a doobie?
Hi, welcome to Nature Rad.
Hi, thank you.
Have you been here before?
Yes.
A few times. Okay. So I set out a research project to prove them wrong. I need a quarter of blueberry kush, and then I need 1 gram of the gold label, but I need heavy, heavy indica. I studied and studied and studied, and the more I learned, the more I realized the problem was not with cannabis, it was with my personal biases. And there's the berry. Just because our society calls it evil for so many years doesn't make it evil. The study shows that it's a very beneficial plant.
It's hard to understand how bad I was before and how depressed.
She was just balled up on the sofa, hopelessness, just pure hopelessness because of undaunting pain.
I didn't know how to go about doing it, so I was really happy to find out there was such a thing as a coach around.
I think she would have quit all on her own.
On the 6th day of April, I started my program with Bill and Dorothy. I had withdrawal like you wouldn't believe, I mean really bad. And I got through it. It took me a year, but on March 31st of 2018, I took my last oxycodone. I couldn't have done it without the marijuana, and I still forget where I came from. I still have a lot of pain, but nothing like I used to have, nothing like I used to have. And my children and grandchildren are like, "Wow, Grandma, you look so different than you did last year."
I've slept better than I have in my life. I just sleep like a baby when I use this.
So let's just keep going the way we're doing.
Life has really picked up. A lot more conversation between the two of us, where before when you're in pain, you're just in your world. And so I don't feel as isolated now.
If people ask me today, what is the most rewarding thing I've ever done? It's not my police career. It's this. Besides our marriage and our 4 children, it's the most rewarding thing we've ever done.
Nobody's ever shamed us, but sometimes you think, maybe that person isn't as friendly as they were before, maybe. People have their biases, and I can't do anything to control that.
I got 28 grams of flour. I got 280 milliliters of coconut oil.
Our bishop knows, our stake president knows, and they're very supportive because they see what good we're doing to educate people and help them to learn how to use this as a medicine.
It is a medicine, and we respect it. In 2018, the world that we're talking right now, there is an obvious conflict between federal law and state law. The checkpoint down there, the federal officers are seizing people's medicine, and that's wrong.
I really seriously think that if the opioid crisis wasn't coming to a head, that this would probably be delayed further. Because again, it's a stigma about something being illegal.
I don't understand why it cannot be legalized and why you can't get some insurance relief. If it's doing me more good than the oxycodone was doing, I just don't understand why the government feels so strongly about not making it legal.
Migrants around the world face life-threatening obstacles every day. On the U.S.-Mexico border, this continues to be true. And for female-identified migrants, the risks are even higher. Well, during a recent celebration and cross-border performance, artists, activists, scholars, and migrants gathered to acknowledge the crisis at the southern border through the lens of gender and sexuality. This is Binational Encuentro.
The majority of the people that are right now displaced in the world are women and children. We are talking about a different generation that it has been uprooted.
If you really think about the numbers of deaths and rapes that occur to female-identified persons at the border, we would all be astounded.
Groceries in and out of her house. I asked if she would look at a picture. She indicated that she did not.
We decided to bring together artists, activists, and scholars that work on the topics of migration from the perspective of gender and sexuality.
We're ignoring what's the violence that we're setting up.
The 9-day event was the Binational Encuentro Female Migrations.
Performance art put together theater, video art, and many different types of arts together. So it really speaks to an audience, especially a young audience, in a very different way, using means that they have at their hands.
The issues are extremely complex, and there are multiple strands or multiple problems, and they're intersecting at this place.
The cultural segregation that communities at both sides of the border experience is larger because of the lack of money and resources. So for us, it was very important to bring art there. Because we were talking about the violence of the migration policy and the violence of the wall. So you cannot talk about it and then not present it. So of course the performances, all of them acquire a very different level of significance when they are done at the very same place that they were originated in concept.
The numbers of women who have been violated and who have had to deal with multiple kinds of violence as they've crossed is something that really has not been researched well. The fear of being detained or sent back often outweigh the need to share that information.
We keep talking about migration as if it's just this moment, this instant, when people cross or not. There are root causes that are historical, colonial histories, and how manifest destiny is one of the origins, right? So you have to talk about white supremacy and racial and gender ideologies, neoliberal economies, and how all of that interact in the moment where the global south and the global north connect. And that border is just a literal manifestation of all of these interrelations.
I was so struck by the way that Violetta Luna both humanized that Border Patrol agent, but also through that interaction, pushed him to recognize her own humanity.
She was perceived by the Border Patrol as an actress, not as a migrant, even if she is herself. And what she was digging and she was hiding were photographs of disappeared people. Each person was reading that action in a very different way, right? So that's precisely the power of performance art.
This is the final performance of a whole process of this Encuentro Female Migrations. I'm from Mexico City, but my roots are Zapotec roots from Oaxaca. I started doing it through activism, but when I was involved on that and seeing what is going on, I wanted to just show it to the world, like this is what is happening. And I wanted to put that in an art piece.
we, artists, activists, scholars, who are interested in creating a different way of living, have to get out of our silos. And we have to learn to understand each other's languages and to work together.
My piece is named Mujer Borderfly, which is a metaphor of the monarch butterfly and migrant women, but it's also a way of honoring all the missing women from Mexico and from here that are missed in the border. You can say whatever you want to say in a safe place through art. My pain can be your pain too. It's not something that is separate. Like, we are the same people.
It's complicated to talk about the root causes of migration, but I do believe that if we don't talk about this, when we talk about migration reform, then we are validating the process that right now is in place, that is deadly, is violent, kills people, and allows for people to be victimized, criminalized, et cetera, et cetera.
When you're addressing issues where there are deeply held values, people shut down because they have their position, they have their beliefs, and there's no way to engage. And so what art does, it creates this pathway, a different way in, so that people are able to potentially engage an issue and to maybe learn something new and maybe feel something differently related to the subject matter.
What I want people to get out of this is the possibility of talking to one another to try to imagine a different paradigm.
And now, from our Far Afield series, we bring you the Tucson ensemble band Loveland and their song X's for Eyes from Che's Lounge on 4th Avenue.
People only see the things they think they want to see, and I can't see a heartache when it's heading right for me. Thinking more of where I've been and where I'm going to. As I drive into a purple sky, it just makes me think of you. And I'm running away from you. It's crazy when a man like me should be at home in bed, and I'm running like the devil down a dark highway instead. I stopped to get some coffee, but they're locked up for the night. Wary friend, the welfare isn't anywhere in sight. 'Cause I'm running away from you. Sometimes now it feels like I've been living in a song, but I just can't find the words, and everything I do is wrong. Pile up all the plans we make and details we attend, it's still the unexpected one that gets us in the end. And I'm running away from you. knew she'd never come with me. I knew I'd never stay. And the best thing I could do for her was leave her where she lay. Now we're running. Yes, I'm running. I'm running. Away to you.
More than a decade ago, mental health worker Eddie Grijalva set out to celebrate Native American sobriety and resilience through a community-based, family-friendly event. Well, his Red Road to Wellbriety celebration has since become an annual day-long celebration on the Tohono O'odham Nation.
Drumming, you know, the heartbeat of the Mother Earth. To us, that's, you know, life. It's part of who we are as a people.
A very good morning to everybody. Don't let the rain bother you. I have never seen anybody melt. We'll start, of course, as we always do, with honoring the people, first of all, right? Tohono O'odham Nation, and the Centerville District for allowing us to gather at the Recreation Center. 12 years. We are at the Centerville Recreation Center on the Centerville District of the Tohono O'odham Nation. And we are celebrating what we call the 12th annual Red Road to Wellbriety celebration.
Protect us wherever we walk upon this Mother Earth.
Celebrating recovery in our Native communities. We try to bring an emphasis on that it is possible that people do recover, that people can change their lives. Red Road is a term that was coined by Native Americans, kind of is walking the right road, the right way. Everybody knows the difficulties and challenges that most Native communities encounter, but very few people are doing anything to celebrate people who are doing well, people who have changed their lives, and not just, you know, changed it. Some of these folks have been clean and sober for 40, 50, 60 years, and we want to honor those people. And we ask people how long they've been clean and sober, and then we do a countdown all the way down to 1 day. The recovery countdown, where, you know, we count down the number of years that people have been clean and sober, and these people step up and say, I've got 30 years, 35 years, 40 years. Of course, we have people who also step up and say, you know, I've been clean and sober 20 days, 15 days. So it gives them a place where the stigma is sort of removed, and so it gives them, you know, an opportunity when somebody says, look, we're going to celebrate recovery. We're not going to talk about, you know, all the things that, you know, we can't do. What about the things that we can do? I myself am in recovery, and having had some difficult obstacles in my life that I had to face, in reality facing them and not just glossing over them and thinking that there's got to be something better than this. And beginning in my own recovery and people giving me opportunities, I mean, great opening doors for me that I never dreamed possible. So my idea then is that, look, if we can put something together where you get more than one person, where you get lots of people doing this, can you imagine the impact it has, you know, in our community?
I've been participating in the Red Road for probably about 7 years. It means a lot to me because it saved my life. I've been sober 6.5 years. This is the longest I've ever been sober.
So all of this has to go today because we are not taking it with us. Every year it's a struggle, and to raise the funds that we need to put on an event like this. We're always hopeful that next time we put something together and we ask the community to support us, that hopefully they will.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Historical trauma has been part of the Native communities for hundreds of years, hundreds and hundreds of years. And we believe that by healing one individual at a time, that healing goes back 7 generations and 7 generations forward. So it's something that, everyone heals. When one person heals, the whole community, it's part of the community healing as well.
The feeling that people who are struggling have is that they feel like they're the only ones. And oftentimes they've been marginalized, disenfranchised, even from their own family. People need encouragement. They need somebody to support them. They need somebody to just offer a hand and be able to say to them, look, you can do this, you can do this. And there's opportunities and there's resources in the community to be able to do this so you don't feel alone.
The Red Road is something very positive for our people. We're all fighters when we come in here because we fight for that alcohol, we fight for that drug, but we come in here and we fight for our lives when we get here. And just seeing other people doing that very same thing, knowing that where they've been before and sharing our stories, we know we're not alone now.
Okay, let's give a hand to everybody who got a necklace.
Thank you for joining us here on Arizona Illustrated. I'm Tom McNamara. See you next time.